Hi guys, so today I'm going to be doing kind of a social anxiety Q&A. It's been a year since I uploaded my video living with social anxiety, and since then I've got a million requests to do more videos about it, so I thought I would. I don't know, a lot of people said that video helped them, and I never intended for that many people to see it. I kind of held off uploading it for like 2 weeks too because I wasn't sure if it was a good idea. Anyway, I'm really glad I did, and people have come to me and are asking for me to do more videos about that, so here I am. Before I start giving advice and stuff, I'm not a professional. I don't claim to know everything about this. I'm just gonna be telling you things that have like worked for me and stuff. So I asked my Instagram followers to ask me questions about social anxiety, so I'm gonna do that, but I'm not gonna put it up or say who asked it because they might want to keep it private. So the first one says, when you get an anxiety attack in class, how do you calm down? This has happened to me more often than I would like. I always have water with me, so that helps. I drink water. I'll also just like focus on my breathing. Like when you're having a panic attack, like I can't really focus on anything. Like if the teacher's talking, I won't even notice. Count my breaths kind of thing. I'll also like text someone about it if I know that they're at their phone or something. If I need to, I'll ask her to the bathroom, and it helps a lot going into the bathroom and just being alone for a few moments. Also, if you tell your teacher that you have anxiety, it might be easier for you because if you need to leave, they might understand better. I know that some teachers don't understand at all, or some teachers understand fully but just don't care enough. Also, I want this to be a safe place in the comments, so if you want to give advice in the comments or respond to people that have said things, feel free to do that. So for this question, if you have any other tips or advice on it, comment it below for myself and everyone else. This next question is a really good one. How to explain to your friends what it is and how it affects you. Okay, I saw this thing on Tumblr once, and it said that feeling when you are just about to go like lean back in your chair and fall over, or when you miss a step, that feeling happens to you except all the time. It's so hard to explain to somebody who doesn't have anxiety what it feels like, but I mean, that's a start. This one is pretty long, but I'm just gonna tell you guys like the gist of it. I have social anxiety, and I'm 100% sure what my parents think it's just ADHD, and I confronted them saying that they say I'm shy. How to tell your parents, and I know that it can be very, very difficult for your parents to understand what it is, and even if they understand, to fully understand how bad it is. What I would suggest is like find articles online or in magazines and stuff and show it to them so they know that this is a real thing and it's very serious, and that you're not just shy or lazy or something. Like it's a real issue for you and you need help, and you need to like reach out to them and say, you know what, like I'm reaching for help, can you please help me, and help me like if you understand. Yeah, it just sucks that a lot of people don't understand and just think that you're really shy or something and that you're making a big deal out of it when you're not. You could also show your friends or your parents this video or the other video I did about this, because maybe that will help them realize that you're not the only one. Like this is an actual thing and there is cures for it. Cure? There's a cure for it, not cure. There's a lot of questions about how to calm down after a panic attack. If you're not in class, I would suggest doing the same things, but also do anything to take your mind off of the situation. I like to listen to music or lie down. There's a lot of GIFs on Tumblr that you can find that are like motions that really help you calm down. If you just search up like anxiety GIFs or something, there's a whole bunch of different things that are supposed to help you calm down, and they really do. What I like to do is I write everything that I'm feeling like super fast, and when I read it back later it doesn't make sense and I can't tell what I wrote, but it really seems to help me. Just breathing is the most important thing. You're not going to get over the panic attack unless you start breathing. You need to make your breathing normal, so just really focus on that. OMG Mo, I love you so much. Your videos have helped me through a lot. You are so real and honest, and you are somebody other teens should look up to, so thanks Mo. And for that question, alright, so I'll get really sad and nervous to the point I'm shaking just out of the blue, and sometimes I will do stupid things, like for example break up with my boyfriend, ruin friendships, and just push everyone away. What can I do to calm myself down and keep myself from pushing everyone away and self-sabotaging? First of all, I love you so much. Thank you for that comment. That was very nice. I do the exact same thing. I've pushed everyone away, and I don't know why we do it. I think it's because we want to not get anyone else involved with our anxiety and our issues. I think the key is just to explain to these people why you're like this, and I think maybe we push people away because we don't think they understand, or we think we can do this on our own. I don't know how to put this into words, but if you can make the people around you aware of why you're doing this and that you do want them in your life, because I'm sure you do, then I think it'll be a lot easier and you won't feel the need to push them away even more, because if they understand, they're going to be more helpful to you, and it's going to be more helpful to them because I'm sure they're confused as to why you're pushing them away. And I totally get nervous to the point where I'm shaking like all the time, and you just gotta breathing. It's the most important thing. I get that a lot when I'm shaking, and you just gotta drink water or like focus on something that requires you to be very still. When did you get panic attacks and how did you react to it? I don't know when I got my first one, but I know when it first started happening. It was like a few years ago maybe, when I had like my first like big one, and I was just confused. I was like, what the heck is happening to me? Like, why can't I control my body and control my emotions? So I was confused, to say the least. How do you let your family and friends know about your anxiety without them thinking you're whiny or wanting attention? I mean, if anyone thinks that you're wanting attention or whiny because you tell them that, I'm sorry that you have that type of person in your life. Come out and say, I just want you guys to know because I want your support. I have anxiety, I have whatever, and I think if you just tell them that you'd like support and you're not looking for like a ton of sympathy, then I think that'll be easier. Is it normal to have social anxiety but still want to go out into social events? I do, and even though it's really hard, it makes me feel more normal, but I don't know if I should stop being so hard on myself. Yes, totally yes. I won't get invited to things and I'll be upset, and then I do get invited to things and I go and I wish I'd stayed at home. And I wish I had more of a social life. I wish I had more friends to go out and do things with, and I wish I could be more social, but I can't. And so I guess it's normal. I hope it's normal because I feel it too, but I think that's just a human instinct, is to want to be social, but then your brain is saying that you shouldn't be, but I don't know. I think that is completely normal because I feel the exact same way. Like, for example, with me going back to school, I had the perfect setup. I didn't have to go to regular school. I was fine being homeschooled, but then the want of me wanting to go back and be social at school overtook it, and I went back. So how do I tell my mom that I think I should see a doctor and have medication without her being scared for me? I think you've just got to say, like, it's nothing so super serious, but I think I'll be more beneficial if I talk to a doctor or a therapist or somebody, or get medication that I need. If you just explain to her that this is going to help you, then I think she won't be that worried. I think she'd be more worried if you didn't get help and she found out about this. My friends always tell me that I'm just too emotional and sensitive and push me to do things that are way too far from my comfort zone. How can I explain to them nicely that some things are too hard to handle? I have friends that will do that, and then I also have friends who will nicely try to push me to do things, but if I don't want to, then they're okay with it. But if they're extremely pushing you out of your comfort zone so much, you really need to have a talk with them and tell them that friends aren't supposed to put other friends in this kind of situation. Make sure they know that that's totally not okay. Like, tell them that you'd like them to encourage you to try doing things, but not forcing you. Like, they need to give you an option to like back out. Okay, this one is about texting you but you don't respond because you're too anxious, and I get this too sometimes. If it's like, not even if it's that important, but if it's someone that I haven't texted a lot, or if it's like a business email, I'm the worst at responding to business emails because I just have the worst anxiety about it, and it's terrible. And then text messages, if it's someone that I don't talk to much, by the time I finally work up the courage to answer and formulate a good answer, it's like a week later and I can't answer anymore because it's been too long. Something that helps for me is I just write it up and pretend that I'm gonna delete it in a second, but I write up and then quickly press send before there's nothing I can do, and then I realize it wasn't actually that bad. But okay, the next one says, do you ever compare yourselves to others? Because I always do it and I hate it. I did this a lot, especially when I first started high school. I was comparing myself to everyone, and it just I just degraded myself over and over again. And then I realized that I am completely different, so even if I want to be just like someone else, there's absolutely no way I'll ever be exactly like someone else. So I guess I just kind of stopped trying to be them and started trying to figure out who I actually was, if that makes sense. I guess I still compare myself to people. I think it's kind of a naturally human thing. I don't think it's healthy to compare yourself to a point where you try to change yourself. I compare myself to people at school, on YouTube, even people in magazines and like famous people, which is completely ridiculous. So basically just build you instead of worrying about other people. And I know that's so cliche, but like, don't waste your time comparing yourselves to people. Like, you can a little bit, but don't do it to a point where you like are hurting yourselves and you forgetting to like focus on your own self. The most important person to yourself is yourself. And then the last question is, what do you do when a teacher calls on you in class to answer a question? This was one of my main concerns about going back to school, but in the first semester I kind of told all my teachers about it, and they knew that like I really didn't like talking in front of class. So for the most part they didn't ask me things, but when they did, I'd kind of just freeze and say I don't know, or like, this is not the way to do it, but I would just delay it so much that I wouldn't have to answer, and I'd just be like this, and every second got worse because everyone was looking at you, and you kind of like, you can feel your face getting red, and it's the worst thing in the world. So just tell your teachers like that, please don't call on me. If you have to, get your parents to send an email or something like that. If your teachers understand, they probably won't call on you, but if they do, just remember that once you answer the question, nobody's going to remember in a couple of minutes. Anyway, that is all of the questions that I'm going to answer in this one. If you have any further questions, you can send them to me on Tumblr, and I'll try my hardest to answer them. I'm going to get my friend Sage, and she's going to help me answer them too, because she's really good at giving advice. My Tumblr is always down below, I think. I'm pretty sure. If not, I'll put it down below. And I hope that this video was somewhat helpful to you. If it wasn't, then I'm sorry. Yeah, let me know if you want me to do another video like this. I probably will in a little bit. I also have a video coming up about anxiety in general, not just social anxiety. And I have a video coming up about depression, so stay tuned for that. I know this isn't like my usual videos, but it's been highly requested and I wanted to do it for you guys. Anyway, I will see you all in my next video. Mwah.